eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eSIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude, college educated, and worked inside the industry. He knows what he is talking about. The eSIM Studios mobile app is an experience unlike any other tech app, with an easy-to-use interface view, late-breaking tech news from all over the industry, and so much more. The eSIMstudios.app also includes the unlocker. Learn to unlock phones from the professionals for free. The clean and intuitive layout, finding breaking news articles and deals in tech has never been easier. Watch and listen to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and podcast from within the app. Additional features include easy Gcam download and installation, the Android Flash tool, and sign up for our weekly giveaway drawing. Download the eSIM Studios mobile app at eSIMstudios.app and find us on YouTube by simply searching eSIM Studios.
Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon that's elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the one plus pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing. Think you're cool with iOS 18. Android had those features back in 2018. Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon that's elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the one plus pixel have you crying tears. M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon that's elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the one plus pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing. Think you're cool with iOS 18. Android had those features back in 2018. Your little Mac M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon that's elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the one plus pixel have you crying tears. M3 CPU is sweet. It can't beat my Snapdragon that's elite. iPhone stuck on same design for years. Nothing but the one plus pixel have you crying tears. You got that iPhone 15, I got that phone to nothing.
fresh off the G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream, episode number 152. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Recording a little earlier. Look, I actually wanted to test this new camera I got. If y'all been watching this live stream for the past week or so, StreamYard's been having issues. I kind of narrowed it down, troubleshooted down to the camera app / software I was using. I was actually using my a phone as the webcam. I upgraded, as you can tell. Boom! Look at that auto tracking. So I officially have a real webcam. So it's not a phone anymore. So we'll see if this works. If we still have issues, I'll drop StreamYard and move to something else. But I did want to get into yesterday, while I was picking up this webcam, got it at Best Buy, right? Amazon couldn't deliver it till Friday or Saturday to this weekend. I can't wait. If I'm having issues, I need something fixed ASAP. Best Buy had it. Pick it up in 1 hour. Sweet, let's go. So while I parked the car, holy crap, I think Best Buy has the Fold 6 and the Flip 6 inside. So I had gotten his curbside, so I got it curbside, didn't have to get in my car, but got the webcam, threw it in the back, literally backed up, parked in another parking spot, went inside to go check out the Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6. Now, I recorded a YouTube short on each one. If you haven't seen those yet, simply go to our eSIM Studios YouTube channel, scroll over to the shorts section, and there you will see a 1 minute breakdown of each device. Now, I'm going to admit to you, I've already, before I looked at the Fold 6, Flip 6, I pre-ordered the Flip 6. So I have that coming. Still has not shipped, but we ordered one, right? Samsung didn't send us one, so I went ahead and ordered it right with our money. After seeing the Fold 6, I completely flip-flopped on it. I want one. Now, I do have some news in regards to upgrading and in regards to Samsung's website. Like, if you want to upgrade to that device, I got some new information that we'll get into shortly. I may do that here in a little bit. But it is freaking awesome. I've never wanted a Fold device. Many of you know I love the Flip series. I love the design. I love how small it is. I've had every Flip, I think starting with the 2. I don't think I've had the original, but I've had 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one of them were cool, but we're missing something, and got rid of them. I think Samsung finally nailed it with this series of Flip. If you've had any previous Flips in the past, I can honestly say this is the one to get. They've refined everything. They've upgraded the cameras. They've upgraded the battery. Everything that I had a knock on in the past, where one of the reasons why I would get rid of it, they fixed. So I think I have something that I can hold on to for the next year, or at least the next 6 months. Getting into the Fold real quick, and we'll get into the Pixel news because there is some clickbait online. I want to dive into the details, and we'll get to it in a minute. But I want to dive into the details. There's an article on Android Authority that I don't think properly depicts the cameras and the sensors that's on these new Pixel devices. And I want to clear the air a little bit, and we're going to do some homework. Sit right with me, and we'll dissect these sensors that's on this Pixel Fold, because it's getting a bad rap, and I don't think that's fair. But before we do that, the Samsung Z Fold 6. I've never wanted a foldable before. Just not my style. I just couldn't find one that I like, honestly. I like the technology. I like the foldables, meaning flips and folds. But here's the issue. In the past, never found a design that I like. So, as you know, this new one, totally redesigned. Now, at first glance, you might think, well, it's kind of a rollover from last year. It's not. It is different. It's different. Now, how do they make it different? Well, in my mind, and we'll get through this, but check this out. In my mind, a foldable, right? Not a flip like alligator mouth, but I'm talking open it up like a book, right? So, do y'all remember the OnePlus Open? That was the first foldable that basically got zero hate online. Every single YouTube review of the OnePlus Open was fantastic. Now, that's the real first foldable that ever got a lot of love, right? Across the board. And they sent, I don't know why they sent me, OnePlus, come on. They sent vloggers that have nothing to do with tech, the OnePlus Open, to review, right? Anyways, OnePlus, hook your boy up, come on. Now, why was that so cool? It got praise all across the board. So in my mind, and this is personal preference, right? I know everybody's different. In my mind, the perfect foldable opens up like a book. The perfect foldable would be when it's fully closed, right? I want a phone that looks like a phone when it's closed, right? And I just simply want it to open up into doing this backwards. And I just simply want a phone that opens up like this, right? To a bigger screen. That's what this Fold 6 is. They finally nailed it. It looks like the S24 Plus. Now it's more boxy, honestly. So it looks more, because the S24 Plus is more of a rounded design, right? It's got the rounded edges. And the S24 Ultra is more of a square. So this Fold 6 essentially looks like an S24 Ultra from the outside. It's not as big, right? But it's thin, so you can reach the whole screen. When it's closed, you can use the whole screen. It looks exactly like this, just a little thinner. This one's so wide that you can't get your whole hand around it and, make certain touches on the screen. It looks like a phone that opens up to a tablet. And I think they finally nailed it. Now, I was testing some cameras. Camera sensors look good. That was a concern with everybody in the past, is why isn't Samsung putting flagship sensors, flagship hardware in their most expensive device? Now, they don't have the 200 megapixel sensor that's in this S24 Ultra, but again, who uses that? It's cool to have, but I've only used it a handful of times. But they do have all the other sensors that are on this device in this Fold 6. So the cameras are good. Screen's beautiful. It looks like the crease on both devices, on the Flip and the Fold, it looks like they've gotten smaller. They are still there, the crease. However, it seems like every year they're getting a little smaller and a little smaller. Because remember, I've never had a Fold. However, I've had last year's Flip. So I know what the crease looks like, feels like in this Flip, the 6. And same on the Fold. It looks like the crease is slowly getting smaller and smaller every year. So hopefully in a couple years it'll be gone. But it's very minimal right now. It's not anything like the first gen, second gen, or even the third gen of these foldables. Samsung's done a good job of decreasing that crease. So I think they have a hit. Now, this is going to be a relatively short podcast. So look, I'm not going to be able to do a full hour. I've been on for 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to get out of here at 3, maybe 3:10. So it gives us a good 20 minutes. So the main topic is this new Pixel Fold. There is some clickbait out there. I don't want anybody to fall for it. Before this podcast, this morning, I had no idea what I was going to talk about. While I was setting up my camera, I came across this article. I said, what the hell? I dig into it, and then I start doing my own research, right? So I don't just take if something doesn't sound right, and look, I don't investigate everything, but when it comes to this stuff that I nerd over, I will, right? So I did some investigations, I did my homework, and I think this article that I'm going to present to you is clickbait on the new Pixel Fold 2. And I'm going to, whoever the author is, I'm going to at the very least, tag Android Authority in this YouTube channel, so maybe they'll catch word of it, and I don't think they can do whatever they want, but I'm going to present to them how this is not the case. So whoever wrote it, who's the author? Robert Triggs. Maybe I'll find his social media. Oh, actually, you know what? He's got Facebook and X. I'm going to personally send him a link to this podcast, to this episode. So, Mr. Triggs, we will see what you are presenting to us. But before I do that, everybody knows. See, can y'all see my head in this picture, my headshot? Where the hell did that come from? I get new hardware, I get a new camera, and I'm like, wait a second, where the hell is that? I'll have to. You already see one of my heads. Pause. You don't need to see two. Before we get into the Pixel news, oh yes, I forgot to tell you. So the upgrades. I think. Okay, so here's the deal. When I pre-ordered the Flip 6, after seeing the Fold 6 yesterday, I already in my brain. I'm like, damn, how can I acquire that, right? So I'm like, you know what? I don't think I would mind giving up my S24 Ultra for the Fold 6. Now, we already have a 24 Plus, right? So we already have an S24 Plus. But they don't give you as much. They give you more for the Ultra. So I'm like, you know what? The Fold 6 uses an S Pen. And I do use my S Pen. So it got me wondering. So I jumped on Samsung's website. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I might need your help. Or at least your opinion, or your memory, right? Because I couldn't really remember if this was the case or not. So let's go to Samsung's website. So for the Fold 6, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but okay, Fold 6 unlocked, and I can go back to whenever they launch this, I can go back to my live stream and double check. I just didn't have time before this live stream because I was doing homework on the Pixel sensors. But let's just say, get the blue one, trade in, yes. Mobile phone, yes. It's in good condition, yes. Samsung, yes. S24 Ultra, yes. Now, I'm not signed in, am I? So with my Samsung points, also I okay, maybe I am tripping. Because when I'm not signed in here. When I signed in, it said I had to trade in my S24 Ultra, and then all I was going to have to pay is $500. Now, as you can tell, it's not the case up here, but I did reserve it. I do have Samsung points. So maybe, I guess my trade-in value, my total, would not necessarily equal everybody else's, right? Because I do have Samsung points. I do order from their website quite often. I'll put that to the back burner. Just disregard this last few minutes, and I'll look into that myself, because I could have sworn they're offering more money now, or that number has gotten smaller since the last time I checked. Because I was like, so now technically, again, I'm not signed in here, so don't look at that number. But on my browser, where I'm signed into, it says all I got to do is trade in this S24 Ultra, and then $500, and I can upgrade to the Fold 6. So I don't know. I'm telling you, it's very, very impressive. The hardware, it's just an absolute beautiful device. But if you do get one, if you do choose to pull the trigger, you absolutely have to get insurance. I mean, normally I don't get insurances for my phone. I just don't. I haven't for years. Foldables, you best get insurance. That's all I'm going to say. Because, look, they're foldables. I dropped my Z Flip 4 a couple years ago, 18 inches off the ground. Now, this is not outside on concrete. This is inside on fake wood flooring. 18 inches, screen busted. So, make sure you get insurance. That's my eSIM Studios tip of the day. Let's get into the main topic, right? Because enough of this Samsung. Let's get into the Pixel stuff, right? Bama fan, yes. How you doing today, man? Doing good. Hope all's well. Yeah, everything's pretty good. The podcast is taking off. I was just checking analytics. We have listeners in 38 countries. We made Feed Spots. You know what? We made Feed Spots a list of top 100 tech YouTubers to subscribe to. So I thought that was cool. And I think I posted that yesterday in a community post. And then we also got Apple Podcasts. We're not only on Apple Podcasts, but we got monetized on Apple Podcasts. So that reminds me, I totally blew through this. If you miss this podcast, right, catch it midstream, or you got to leave midstream, or catch the last 5 minutes, I'm going to re-upload this, trim the fat, so to speak, take off the intro, just the good stuff, re-upload this to YouTube. So you can always watch this, catch the replay on YouTube. Or if you want to take us on the go, our podcast is taken off. Wherever you get your podcast, wherever you listen to a podcast, whether it's Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio app, anywhere, go to your search bar and simply type in eSIM Studios. We will pop up, right? I upload every single not only this podcast, right? So not only do I upload this live stream, the audio version to the podcast, I also do stuff that case reviews, right? Or phone reviews. I upload that to the podcast. So essentially everything we do here, you can follow along. eSIM Studios. Yeah, I'm doing good, brother. S24 Ultra is holding up great. I will be rocking this phone for at least... Yeah, well, you made a good choice, because I remember you had the Note 20, is that correct? Or Note 20 Ultra, something of that sort, I believe, right? And I remember you upgrading. You had a few hiccups here and there when you upgraded, but I'm glad it's holding up. You chose a good phone to hold on to for 4 years, honestly. It's going to be good for 4 years, for sure. Yeah, you know what? You're not into foldables, and I wasn't either. Look, and I say I love the flip phones because it reminds me of like my very first phone, right? The Motorola StarTAC, the little flip phone. So I love the flips, and they're cool to have. You fold them, throw them in your pocket. Now you can control the whole phone without even opening it. You can do it from the outer display. Anyways, I never wanted a actual fold style phone until yesterday. It's badass. Anyways, Note 10 Plus. That's what it was. That's right. All right. Well, I'm glad to see you back, brother. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Let's get into this Pixel news. I got to get out of here. Give me about 10, 15 minutes and I'll get out of here. So let's break this down real quick. So what am I talking about? So let's roll over here. There's an article on Android Authority. Title: Camera downgrades? Question. I guess I'll be skipping the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. The Pixel Fold successor needed a better camera. Count me out. If you watched our who is this? Robert Triggs. Mr. Triggs, if you watched our podcast yesterday, you would know, I strongly suggest you subscribe to the eSIM Studios, not only YouTube channel, but, listen to this podcast every now and then. Because if you did, you would not have written this article. Google has, in fact, upgraded these cameras. Now, is it every single sensor in the Fold, Pixel Fold 2? No, but it's 4 out of the 5, right? They upgraded the cameras that needed an upgrade. So technically, is your article clickbait? And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So is this clickbait? Yes, 1000%. Does he have knowledge of these new sensors in there? He does not. So I don't really know. I'm not saying you didn't do your homework, Mr. Triggs. All I'm saying is that you might want to subscribe to our podcast, because if that was the case, you wouldn't have written this article. So here's the deal. So he's got on here, breaks down the Pixel Fold up here, the OG Fold on the left, and the new. Now, you might hear me call the Pixel 9 Pro Fold a different name. And it's just I don't do it on purpose. I just have it etched in my brain. It's the Fold 2, right? Well, Google technically changed its name to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Anyways, if you hear me say Fold 2, just know that I'm talking about the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, okay? So they list these sensors here. OG Pixel Fold 2 on the right. So the main sensor, the main shooter, as soon as you open up the camera app and you get ready to take a photo, if you have it by default because you can actually set in the settings where when you open the camera app, it'll default to the last sensor used. Now, you have to go in and change that. But by default, it'll always open up to this Sony IMX878. It's a 48 megapixel sensor. These two right here. Same sensor as last year. So that's what he was talking about the carryover from last year. Now, look at all these other sensors. Sony IMX386 on the last year's. This year's Samsung 3LU. Last year, telephoto camera, Samsung 3J1. This year, 3J1. It is technically the same sensor, but they tweaked it. Sony IMX355 for the inner selfie camera. This year, Samsung 3K1. Different sensor. Outer selfie camera. Samsung 3J1. This year, Samsung 3K1. A brand new sensor. So technically, this article is incorrect. Now, before we dig a little deeper and dig into and look up, well, what do these new sensors entail, which we will answer that question. Before we get into that, I want to break down why even if Google kept the same sensors as last year, why I still believe this article would be incorrect. So Google using the same sensor is not a bad thing. In fact, it's actually a good thing. Again, I'm going to reference yesterday's show. We talked about this for an hour. It was last episode. Google famously used a 12 megapixel sensor in the Pixel 1 all the way Pixel 5, right? So for 5 generations, for 5 years, use the exact same 12 megapixel sensor. It was probably it'll go down in history if you have a smartphone Hall of Fame 20, 30 years from now, I'll definitely be a member. Actually, you know what? That'd be a cool thing to start. Let me look into that later. Anyways, 20, 30 years from now, you're in the smartphone Hall of Fame. And then you go into this one hallway or this one section, the very best cameras, camera phones, camera sensors. The best long running sensor, right? It will be none other than that 12 megapixel sensor Google used for 5 years. Now, why is that? Because Google, they could have upgraded. There are plenty of options they could have used. They knew that sensor inside and out, like the back of their hand, and they literally squeezed, well, I guess not literally, but they squeezed out every ounce of juice out of that sensor. They got everything they could. And eventually, obviously, it's time to upgrade, right? Now, so if they use these same sensors last year, that means they know it. They don't have to sit there, bang their head against the wall, and tweak the code or toggle this or toggle that. They know specifically how it operates in certain instances, and they can move forward with tweaking it even more. So let's just say they didn't even put new sensors in there. Let's say this article was correct when he said they didn't change any cameras. It's still not a bad thing. And again, I'm going to reference that 12 megapixel sensor. It's a good thing. That means they know what they're dealing with. And actually, if there was a better option, they would have used it, right? So it's not a bad thing. Now, one of the cons, kind of rolling off of that point, one of the cons of getting a new sensor is that it's all brand new. You got to tweak it. You got to test it, right? It takes time. Now, it's not like they just threw it in there and started testing it. No, they've been testing these things for... Now, these Samsung sensors are brand spanking new. And I did some homework, and now let's pull these up. So, Samsung 3K1. This is the outer selfie camera. So when you close it when it's closed, it's that sensor, that selfie camera, that hole punch camera when it's closed on the outside, right? Samsung 3K1. What is the Samsung 3K1? Let's take a look. The Samsung's labeling this as the most innovative way of seeing, inspired by ISOCELL. So it's ISOCELL based. We won't get into that, but it's a long-standing technology, right, that these small sensors are made out of. This ISOCELL 3J1, 10.87 megapixel, and again, don't put all your eggs in the megapixel basket, right? That does not tell the whole story. You actually have to go investigate a little further, right? Because they do so much technology with pixel binding, meaning they'll take one pixel and literally crunch it or in twos or fours. So don't get caught up in the hype when you see a 10 megapixel selfie sensor. What the hell? No, trust me. It's in the sensor. It's in how these photos are taken. It takes pictures instantly with an ultra fast autofocusing dual pixel technology and videos in sharp 4K Ultra HD. 10 million focusing agent. ISOCELL 3J1 offers fast and accurate autofocusing with dual pixel technology that employs two photodiodes, excuse me, I'm having one of those days, in each and every pixel of the sensor for this PDAF. So there's a ton of technology stuffed into here. Now, the smart WDR technology helps to capture the vivid photo with greater details in mixed lighting conditions. Here's where ISOCELL comes into play. Brighter and more vivid. ISOCELL Plus technology significantly increases light sensitivity and color fidelity for more accurate and clearer photos. So that was just on one. So that original article that said that stated there was no new upgrades. Brand new sensor here. Now, that was that the 3J1 or 3? That was the 3J1, excuse me. So that was the, which sensor was the, so this one is the telephoto camera right here. So this will be the telephoto that we just looked at, right? Now there's two more left. They're both using a, there's two more. There's a 3K1, a 3K1, and a 3LU. Let's look at this 3LU real quick. Now, where will this be on the phone? So this will be the ultra wide. So this is going to be on the ultra wide camera on the back of the Pixel Fold 2. A brand new sensor. That, and if you joined us late, we're basically disproving this article that I pulled up. Here's the, and I'm sure you could tell by the thumbnail of this live stream. This is essentially clickbait. That's what it is, right? I saw this article and I was like, what? Did my own homework, and look, this article is just simply not true. Camera downgrades. Guess I'll be skipping the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Pixel Fold successor needed a better camera. Count me out. Okay, we'll count you out, Mr. Robert Triggs. Let's go to the 3LU. So this is not, so remember, Google has this on their ultra wide. Now, it's being described ISOCELL 3LU, you see on the top left. The very first thing that pops up is they explain how it's a great selfie camera, a selfie video, a 4K Ultra HD. And look, I'm not going to get into that many specifics. I'm just simply showing you how that article is not correct. So, I mean, we could definitely go dive deep into the schematics and the performance in low lighting of the 3LU and the 3K1. Look, I'm short on time, so I'm not doing all that, but you get the point, right? It's a brand new sensor. And I'll put all these links in the description below. So if you want to do your own homework like I did, be my guest, right? I did all the hard legwork, right? Finding all this crap, and I'll link it below once this is done. I gotta run. I gotta go. Got an appointment here in a second. But what's the other one? What's that last one? Let's see. 3K1. There's a bunch of information on the 3K1. I'm trying to find the proper info to present to you. Now, if you want a breakdown of all the different models, that's what we did all yesterday on the podcast. We broke down the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, and the Pixel Fold 2, essentially. What it looks like, we got pictures. Everything has been leaked. I don't think there's one piece of information that we don't know about it at this point, because it passed through the FCC equivalent, not our FCC, but the equivalent in Taiwan. All the models passed through, took photos. We got all the schematics. We got all the info, everything. And we broke all of them down yesterday. Let's see here. Let me pull up a Samsung page on this sensor. Man, it's so new. There's not much on it. There was a bunch of news articles that I mentioned. There's a lot of stuff about it. But as far as specifics or a manufacturer's page, I'm not seeing much. That's the 3J one. Where's the 3K one? Damn it. I had everything linked out and it appears it's not so. I'll find it when this is done. Now, when I post information like this, like when I say I'll post it when it's done, I'm streaming on multiple platforms, right? So when I put our main hub is eSIM Studios YouTube channel. So when I list this information, when I hit end, right, and I list the information in the description of this video, if you're listening to this on my personal YouTube page or you're listening to this on Instagram or Twitter, if you want that info that I'm referencing, you're going to have to come to come over to YouTube, go to the YouTube app or on the web, search eSIM Studios. You'll see us. Click on this video and then simply go down to the description box. Because if I update my eSIM Studios description, it won't update or populate all the others, right? It's specific. Now I might do that this afternoon, but I'm a busy man, right? So I probably won't, to be completely honest with you. I'll either forget or just be flat out too busy. But if you want this info, I'll do that here in just literally give me just a few minutes. I'll link everything in this eSIM Studios YouTube channel description. Now, I got to go run an errand. I may or may not be back for another podcast. I essentially got a new webcam, so I really wanted to test that out. Watch this. Cool, huh? So hopefully that'll fix all my streaming issues. Yeah, appreciate you stopping by, Bama fan. And look, make sure you subscribe to eSIM Studios YouTube channel because when we do go live, you'll get notified. And you can join in on the discussion. Also, if you want to get the latest tech news, reviews, deals, go to eSIMstudios.app. That's our web app. I'm going to post a new giveaway on there today as well. So eSIMstudios.app. If you love tech, you'll love eSIMstudios.app. And don't forget eSIMstudios.store. eSIMstudios.store. I just lowered the prices. We got some badass phones, mini PC, just lowered the prices. eSIMstudios.store. And with that being said, I got to roll. I really appreciate y'all stopping by. It does mean a lot. I'm very flattered that the podcast is taking off, and I'm not taking any credit because I'm just simply doing this because I love tech, right? So, anyways, enough blabber. I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. At the very latest, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Maybe come back today if any more big news breaks or leaks. I'll be back later today, but if not, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.